Although state prosecutors asked the judge to set the bond at $10,000, that's $5,000 for each terroristic threat charge, the judge made it a little easier on the Arias family and set the bond at $8,000. $4,000 a charge. Counselors like Ms. Scarborough try to help students so that when they finally exit these doors and step out into the real world, they won't always have to follow the textbook plan of heading to college.
We joined Joey Ripley live at the Miller Learning Center. Joy, UGA police have had to respond to campus violence and threats of violence. What can you tell us?
It was just a couple of months ago, on September 19th, when UGA Police Chief Jimmy Williamson had to respond to terroristic threats made right here at the Miller Learning Center. Now, everything turned out okay that day, but Williamson says he feels sympathetic to what FSU police have had to go through. Williamson says police were doing the best job they could in responding to the shooting. He also says police are limited in their response of campus violence. Now, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and all those affected by the FSU shooting. Reporting live outside the Miller Learning Center, Joey Ripley, Grady News Source. Electric cars have been around for over 100 years, but they're just now becoming economically feasible. And with the federal government offering as much as $7,500 and the state of Georgia offering almost $5,000, it pays to go electric. Whether you sent in your absentee ballot or cast your vote today, every Georgia voter saw 3 proposals on their ballot that the Georgia State Legislature passed on to the people. The First Amendment, the Georgia income tax rate cap, asked voters if they want to prohibit an increase in the state income tax rate. Currently, the top income tax rate for the state of Georgia is 6%. Then there's the Georgia Reckless Driving Fines for Injury Trust Fund Amendment. This would increase driving penalties and fees for reckless drivers. Finally, there is the Georgia Private College Buildings Tax Exemption Referendum, which would allow property owned by the University System of Georgia to remain exempt from taxation, keeping costs affordable. As for the Senate race, as you can see, national implications here in tonight's Senate race between Republican candidate David Perdue and Democratic candidate Michelle Nunn. I'm here at the Michelle Nunn headquarters here at the Hyatt Regency in Atlanta. Stay tuned because Grady News Source will keep you covered on election night here. Live in Atlanta, I'm Joey Ripley, Grady News Source. Some local police departments are trying to restore faith in their departments by letting people get to see what they do. Problems between police and the citizens in Ferguson, Missouri made some people distrust officers. The Jefferson Police Department says it has always been open to citizens riding along with officers and seeing how they go about their day. Leslie Haller took them up on their offer. Leslie, what did you see? Some college campuses in Georgia have emergency call stations throughout campus. UGA does not have these stations any longer. Chief of Police Jimmy Williamson says they're a dying technology. He says it makes more sense for students to call on cell phones and remain mobile when they fear they will be attacked. He says it is wiser for UGA to spend money on other safety precautions. From breaking ground to breaking down, a former downtown Athens landmark has shut its doors for the last time. The novelty store Junkman's daughter's brother closed at the end of August after serving as Athens' treasure trove for nearly 30 years. The store's owner, Mark Gavrin, says that longing customers can still fulfill their junk fix by visiting Guys and Dolls costumes and Tin Fish gifts, both set to open in September. Hangry. It's a new saying that combines the words hungry and angry. And although it may sound like a joke, reporter Ashley Jetton tells us it's a very real word that can have very real consequences for our bodies. Thanks for that information, Ashley. I know I'll always be prepared.
That makes the two of us.
And now, sports.
Hey, Joey Ripley here with your Northeast Georgia sports. The North Oconee High School football team now has as many wins as losses this season. Star running back Kawan Bryant has played a big role in much of the Titans' success. His dominating performance last Friday gave his team their first conference victory. Bryant got familiar with this part of the end zone Friday night against Chastity. And as for next fall, Bryant is looking at many Division I options, including Cincinnati, Georgia State, and Kennesaw State. And he's still looking for more. And now in prep sports, the Grady News Source game of the week is Prince Avenue Christian versus Commerce under the bright lights Friday night at 7:30. Georgia will be prepared for Florida, whether its best player takes the field or not. Tomorrow marks the 20th day Todd Gurley has been suspended, with 4 days until Georgia, Florida. Only the NCAA knows whether or not he'll be on the field. A Georgia soccer player could be the best player in the country. Sophomore midfielder Gabby Seiler is on the ballot for the 2014 Mack Herman Trophy. Seiler leads Georgia with 9 goals and 8 assists. She is also in the top 5 in the SEC in 7 offensive categories. One of Seiler's teammates, Laura Eddy, just celebrated her last home game Sunday night. She has experienced her fair share of pain and pleasure during her time at UGA. University of Georgia student athletes graduated at a rate of 84%, up 1% from last year. The new figures were released today by the NCAA and is the highest graduation percentage for the Bulldogs since 2005. As we all know, Saturdays in Athens are usually decked in red. This Saturday will be no exception. So it looks like we'll be seeing a heavy dosage of Gurley and Chubb this weekend. By the way, Leslie, are you going to the game?
Unfortunately, I can't. It's Yom Kippur, but I'll be cheering on my dogs from Atlanta.